Neville Goddard was a mystic, teacher, and author whose work in the 20th century quietly shook the foundations of how we view reality. While the world was busy chasing success through hard work and external effort, Neville spoke of something far more subtle, yet far more powerful. He believed that reality isn't something that happens to us. It's something that emerges from us. At the heart of his teachings was a simple yet bold idea: imagination creates reality. Not as a metaphor, but as a literal force. He taught that everything we see, touch, and experience first begins in the mind. If you imagine it clearly enough, and, this is the key, feel it as if it's already true, then it must show up in the physical world. This wasn't wishful thinking to Neville. This was law. Unlike many other teachers of his time, Neville didn't tell people to beg the universe or wait for luck. He told them to become the person who already has what they want. He insisted that you must enter the state of your desire fulfilled, right now, in your imagination, and dwell in that state until it feels natural. His concept of feeling is the secret wasn't just poetic. He meant it quite literally. The feeling, deep, emotional, sensory, was the bridge between the unseen and the seen. You couldn't just think about money or success. You had to feel the joy and certainty of already having it. That emotional charge is what impresses the subconscious and shapes the future. This is where Neville's message becomes truly powerful. He didn't just teach visualization. He taught identity transformation. If you could feel yourself into a new version of reality, the outer world would have no choice but to adjust and match that inner change. One of Neville Goddard's most powerful teachings revolves around a phrase he often repeated: assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. At first glance, it may sound simple, even vague. But to Neville, this was the very key to creating any desired outcome. To assume the feeling means to step into the version of yourself who already has what you want. Not tomorrow. Not someday. But now. You close your eyes, quiet your mind, and imagine what it would feel like if your desire were already a fact. It's not about visualizing the outcome from a distance. It's about living it from within. Neville once said, assume the feeling, until that feeling has all the sensory vividness of reality. In other words, your imagination must become so alive, so emotionally real, that it feels no different than a memory. You smell the air, feel the texture of the money in your hand, hear the sounds around you. You let your entire body participate in the experience. This technique isn't passive daydreaming. It's active creation. The subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between a vividly imagined event and a real one. When you impress it with a feeling that is strong, repeated, and filled with detail, it begins to shape the world around you to match that inner picture. For example, if you want financial abundance, Neville would not ask you to think about money showing up. He'd ask you to feel the security, relief, and joy of already having it. Not just in your mind, but in your whole body. You would walk, talk, and carry yourself differently. The moment you sustain that feeling, even for a short time, the world begins shifting in subtle and surprising ways to match it. This is the true power behind assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Neville Goddard didn't just teach imagination, he taught how to bring it alive through the senses. One of his most overlooked but deeply effective techniques involves using sensory-rich imagination, especially the sense of smell, to make your desire feel real on every level. Let's break it down. Start by imagining yourself holding real cash. Not just thinking about it, but truly experiencing it. See the color of the bills. Feel the crisp paper in your hands. Hear the soft rustle as you count it. Let your imagination create every detail. Now comes the key part: smell the money in your mind. Yes, really. Imagine that distinct scent of fresh cash. That slightly metallic, slightly paper smell. Take a slow breath in and pretend you're inhaling that scent as if it were real and in front of you. It might sound strange, but this is where the technique gains its power. Smell is unlike any other sense. It has a direct connection to emotion and memory in the brain. While other senses take a logical path through the mind, smell goes straight to the emotional center. That's why certain scents instantly bring back childhood memories, deep emotions, or vivid experiences. When you smell money in your imagination, you're not just pretending, you're triggering your emotional brain to accept it as real. As you do this, allow yourself to feel joy, gratitude, and abundance. Feel as if the money is already yours. Smile. Breathe deeply. Feel that deep satisfaction as if your desire has already been fulfilled. You're not wishing for money. You're living the experience of already having it. This method isn't just visualization, it's embodiment. And the more real it feels, the faster your reality begins to change to match it. Neville Goddard's method, called Feel It Real, is all about dwelling in the state where your desire is already fulfilled. You don't wish for something. You don't ask for it. You become the person who already has it, right now, in your imagination. This technique is not about repeating words or hoping for results, it's about living from the end, fully and emotionally. Neville explained that you must feel the reality of your desire so clearly that it becomes natural. That means imagining not as a distant goal, but as a present truth. You don't hope to be wealthy, you feel what it's like to already be wealthy. You walk with confidence, think from success, and live emotionally in the end scene of your wish. One of the most striking examples of this comes from a story Neville shared about a man who needed $250,000 to close a business deal. The man was full of worry and doubt, unsure of how or if the money would come. During a phone call, Neville told him to stop thinking about the problem and instead assume it was already solved. Go to the end, he said. See yourself celebrating. Feel the relief. Know it's done. The man followed Neville's advice and did exactly that. Within a short time, the money arrived, exactly as needed. What made it work? Faith plus feeling. Faith in the unseen and the emotional acceptance that it's already yours. Neville always emphasized that belief without feeling is weak. It's the feeling that brings the belief to life. When the heart is involved, the subconscious mind listens. And when the subconscious accepts something as real, it begins to move people, events, and circumstances to make it so. This is the essence of Feel It Real, not hoping, not waiting, but dwelling in the reality that it's already done. Neville Goddard taught that manifestation is not about effort, it's about precision, emotion, and surrender. If you want to materialize money using his method, there's a simple step-by-step process you can follow. Each step moves you deeper into the state where your desire becomes real. Step 1. Be specific. Know exactly how much money you want. Don't be vague. Whether it's $1,000 or $100,000, be clear. The mind responds better when it knows the target. This creates focus and helps your imagination build something real. Step 2. Enter a relaxed state, what Neville called the state akin to sleep, or SATS. This is when your body is sleepy but your mind is still alert. It's that moment just before drifting off to sleep or during deep meditation. In this state, the subconscious mind is wide open and ready to receive new impressions. Step 3. Begin imagining. Visualize yourself holding the money in your hands. See the colors of the bills. Feel their texture. Let your fingers count them. Now add smell, the scent of fresh cash. Inhale deeply and believe it's real. This brings your imagination to life and makes the experience emotional. Step 4. Stay with it. Don't rush. Keep feeling the scene until it becomes natural. When you feel joy, gratitude, and a sense of certainty, that's when you've entered the right emotional state. That's when your subconscious accepts it as fact. Step 5. Let it go. Don't check for signs or worry about how or when it will show up. Trust that it's already in motion. Obsession blocks the flow. Faith keeps it moving. Once you've planted the seed in feeling, your job is done. Reality begins to reshape itself from the inside out. The brain is more powerful and more easily influenced than most people realize. One of the most surprising discoveries in both science and Neville Goddard's teachings is this: your brain can't tell the difference between a vividly imagined event and a real one. This is especially true when your imagination involves strong emotions and sensory input like smell. Smell is a secret weapon in manifestation. It bypasses logic and speaks straight to the emotional core of your brain. While sight and sound go through layers of analysis, smell travels directly to the limbic system, the center of emotion, memory, and subconscious belief. That's why a single scent can instantly bring back a childhood memory or trigger a deep emotional response. When you smell money in your imagination, you're doing more than pretending. You're programming your subconscious to believe that the money is already in your life. That belief creates a powerful emotional response. And those emotions become instructions for your reality to follow. This is how you start aligning with abundance. When the subconscious accepts wealth as your normal state, your actions begin to reflect that belief. You feel more confident, open, and calm. You stop chasing and start attracting. Ideas come more easily. People respond differently to you. Opportunities show up where there were none before. Neville always emphasized that feeling is the secret, and smell helps unlock that feeling faster and more deeply than anything else. When you smell wealth, feel gratitude, and hold the state of already having, you become a magnet for financial flow. The brain begins to rewrite its programs. You no longer wish for abundance, you expect it. And that expectation is what brings it to life. Many people try to manifest money but feel frustrated when nothing changes. Often, the problem isn't the method, it's how it's applied. Neville Goddard made it clear, vague wishing and passive visualization are not enough. When you sit back and casually daydream about money, without clear intention or feeling, it doesn't reach the subconscious. The subconscious responds to clarity, repetition, and emotion. If your desires are fuzzy, like "I want more money" or "I hope I get rich someday," the results will be just as unclear. The mind needs specifics. It needs to know what you want, and it needs to believe it's already real. Another common mistake is using visualization without engaging the senses. Just seeing yourself with money in your mind isn't enough. You have to feel it, touch it, smell it, hear it. The more senses involved, the more the brain believes it's really happening. Sensory detail transforms a flat picture into a full experience. Then comes inconsistency, jumping back and forth between faith and doubt. One day you imagine wealth, the next you're checking your bank account and feeling anxious. That doubt cancels out the work you did in imagination. The subconscious picks up on the dominant feeling. If your dominant emotion is fear or frustration, that's what it will reinforce. Neville taught that to manifest, you must stay loyal to your vision. Even if you see no outer signs, you must keep dwelling in the feeling that it's already done. Doubt is like digging up the seed before it can grow. Consistency in feeling is the key. Stay in the state of the wish fulfilled, fully, with all senses active, and refuse to slip back into old habits of fear or lack. That's when imagination becomes reality. Now that you understand how Neville Goddard's method works, the next step is simple: try it for yourself. Don't wait. Take just a few quiet minutes today. Relax, enter that calm state, and imagine holding the money you desire. Smell it. Feel it. Let that joy and gratitude rise up in you as if it's already real. Even a short practice each day can create real, lasting changes. Make it your daily ritual. Just 2 to 5 minutes of focused, sensory-rich imagination, done consistently, can shift your energy, your mindset, and eventually, your reality. Start small if you need to. Feel the experience. Stay in the wish fulfilled. And most importantly, trust the process. Let go of the how and stay loyal to the feeling. When you do this regularly, you'll start to notice things changing, subtle at first, then undeniable. We'd love to hear about it. Share your experiences in the comments below. What did you try? What happened? If you found value in this video, please give it a like and subscribe to our channel, Bright Mind Within, for more teachings that awaken your inner power. Your support means everything. Remember, your imagination is not a fantasy, it's a creative force. Use it.